Hello everyone, this is Procraft, and welcome to devlog number 3 for Soulveyor. And today I just really wanted to go over a couple of the changes that I've been making over the past few months and catch you guys up to speed. So starting off, right off the bat, I changed the logo up here a little bit, and you'll see on the Steam page as well. But the UI got a really nice overhaul. I went through pretty much all the UI in the entire game and just cleaned it up, made everything look nice and fit each other well. In the hierarchy of the main menu buttons and UI here changed a lot. So for example, you have single player, host, join, settings, and exit. And if I go to host, you first select the world. If you don't have a world, you can always just create one right here. I will select I eat potatoes and then choose player, same concept. You can create a new player here. I'll go to potato eater. And now we have a couple of different types here. So you can host through Steam if you want. You can also host just through your IP if you know how to port forward and stuff, or if you want to set up a dedicated server, you can customize this, set a password. Right now I'll just simply host through Steam, private, bunch of options here, and same right here. And so I'll go back over here to join. It joins the same thing. So if your friend sends you an invite on Steam, it'll take you to this page right here. And all you'll have to do is select a player and you'll join their world. But if you're not joining through Steam, you have this server browser here. So I just simply added my own IP as a local server here where I just play test the game through. So you can always add new servers, edit, remove them, or just join through Steam or quick join. And so these next couple features are actually really cool. Some people might not find them interesting, but these are actually amazing now that I have this in place. But so you can completely change the language for Soulveyor. So right now it's in English, and I can go through and I can add whatever language I want here. My fonts support all these languages. So English, Polish, Indonesian, all these languages you can just switch to, and the entire game properly adapts and everything scales with all these fonts, which is just absolutely amazing. You can type in whatever language you want, Japanese here, and everything displays properly. And so I have, right now, I'm just automatically getting the translations, but later on down the line when I'm finalizing everything, then I'll have obviously people who speak the language look through the translations and make sure that they're all correct and everything like that. You can change between default cursor or the custom cursor. Over here is also something I've been working on. New resolution changes. I'll show you this when I get into game, but you can change the camera zoom as well, so you can zoom in or out and it works properly. And I have pixel perfection now. I didn't have that for the longest time, and it might be slightly apparent in previous devlogs, but there was like a slight shimmering effect that took place. Now this completely fixes that. Everything is exactly pixel perfect, and there's pixel snapping as well. You can also adjust the UI scale. This took me like an entire day because I had to literally go through every single UI element I had and make it all work with this. But that was just a one-time change, and now that's done. And now, yep, you can completely resize the UI to your liking. And I just picked a decent range. I feel like this is a pretty decent range. This is pretty much the max size you can have. Anything more is just obnoxiously big, and anything smaller is just invisible. So I'll just set this back to 2. And next, audio settings haven't changed, but I added controls. Again, not very glamorous, but yes, everybody expects this pretty much in any game that you have. So yep, you can completely rebind all your controls here. If you plug in a controller, a gamepad, VR headset, whatever, this will automatically detect it, and you'll be able to customize. Arrows will pop up here, and you'll be able to customize the controls for your controller and keyboard and stuff, rebind it, and save it all. And now for what I've been working on for the past solid month, like probably over a month at this point, is my new lighting system. So I have completely implemented 100% realistic and dynamic lighting in Soulveyor. So as far as the user is ever concerned, Soulveyor is 2D, completely 2D, but it has entire 3D lighting. Everything about this is 3D and realistic. These lights are actually real. Everything bounces off of each other. As you can see, my little dude has a shadow. If I walk up to this smelter over here, his shadow casts onto the smelter. If I walk up to the rock, it properly casts and bends onto the rock. I place something down, it casts its own shadow. And let me just accelerate time a little bit. Everything changes depending on the time of day. The shadows move. I'll set it even more. The player gets his shadow cast properly in a 3D space too. In the camera, I had to go and completely change the camera to support this. And it's not very apparent in the video, but the camera movement is as smooth as it can possibly be with pixel art. This took a little while to perfect, but before, if you have pixel snapping in like a pixel perfect camera, if you have like a framing transposer, like something that slightly follows a little bit delayed behind the camera, you see how if I stop moving, the camera slowly, or quickly but slowly, moves in place and follows the player. Before, there would be like pixel perfect stuttering, but now I've fixed that, so the camera is as smooth as it could possibly be when following its target. And if I go here and set the time to, I think this is sunset? Yes, so sunset will happen, so the day is coming to an end. And remember, the day-night cycle is completely continuous. So it's going to go from day all the way to sunset, all the way to night, and back into nighttime. And I have moonlight as well for nighttime, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, it's a constant day and night cycle. These shadows are 100% real. Everything casts and receives shadows here. And we're going to start transitioning into moonlight over here. I'll move up here a bit so you can see. And yep, there we go. Moonlight started. I'm still tweaking some of the colors and the shadows. Not everything has a shadow just yet. Like the tree shadows are only 1 pixel big, but that's going to be fixed. And one of the coolest things about this system is that I get to add real lights, like real 3D lights, like I'll do right here. There we go. And this light is 100% dynamic. It casts shadows. If you can see my player, he's casting a shadow onto the rock. Whatever item I have in my hand, this axe in this case, that casts a shadow, an axe shadow, a water bucket shadow, everything just works. I can go ahead and I can move this light, everything. Look at the player. Look how he lights up and everything. Everything properly lights up. I can add stuff like normal maps to all these sprites. Everything casts a shadow. I can go here and rotate this. It all casts a shadow. I can change the angle of this and everything. And it's not really noticeable, but how lights work, if you can see this tree down here, you see this tree isn't getting lit up, but a 2D light would light up this tree, which is incorrect. But the 3D lights, how lights actually work, if you see I move the light down, as the light is behind the object, you see the tree, this light is behind the object, so the tree in front shouldn't be lit up. But as the light moves in front of the tree, you see now it gets lit up. Now it's casting its shadow on here. The tree shadows I'm still implementing, but you see the lighting works properly over here. And I can move this here. I can change the color of the light. You can have whatever colors you want here. I could do like some sort of fire effect where I go ahead and flick the lights like this. You can do all sorts of really cool stuff with this. I am so happy about this lighting system. This looks amazing and it turned out beautiful. And also, because Soulveyor is now completely 3D. Again, as far as the user is concerned, it's all 2D. Everything is completely pixel art, but it allows me to do really cool things like this. I can go ahead and boom. I made this is just a test model. I made this completely 3D test cube weird thing just a couple minutes ago. And I imported it, and so what I can do is I can have these 3D models, and I can go let me move this a little bit and rotate it, and so you see this is an actual 3D object that's getting converted to 2D basically. And the lights here, if I go ahead and change the angle of the lights, you can see, and move it a little bit, you see this is an actual 3D object. There's no collider, so I can walk into it to show you. But you see how the shadow gets cast halfway onto my player. This object's entirely 3D. If I rotate it, move the light a little bit up here, and there we go. I put like a green pillar in the front, if you can see in the 3D object. There it is. But yeah, so it's a it's a scuffed object. It's a really ugly object, but it's just for testing, okay? I can turn it here, and yeah, everything. See in the background over here. Maybe if I crank up the intensity. Oh, okay, that's pretty bright. One too many zeros, but still, this is just demonstration. There we go. You see this? Everything casts. You see onto the vendor house as well. My shadow's casting through the 3D object onto the house. Everything works completely dynamically. Can rotate the cube, and so this is just amazing. Endless lighting possibilities with all this system. And so, well, okay, this is really scuffed. Let me disable this lighting. There we go. This is the scuffed 3D model. Let me set it back to daytime. Another thing I worked on, kind of small. Ignore this placeholder dude. He's just a mushroom guy. A vendor shop here, so you can finally spend your money. These are just set to 0, so you can just take an unlimited amount. And this is just a placeholder NPC. I have no clue what this is, but yep. So you can buy, sell goods over here. I showed off the shop last time, but yeah. I also changed some of the dual effects. So if I go over here and start sealing this guy, if you look in the bottom right corner at my sealing gauntlet, I changed the texture a little bit, and now when I successfully seal, that's the new effect that works. This kind of like zoom out chromatic aberration effect I just whipped up. I thought it looked cool. And again, the duel is completely 3D as well. So all this lighting works based off the time of day, because you're playing the duel as the day is progressing. So you see the lighting just changed right there, boom. And so as the time of day also progresses, the time in the duel goes along as well. And so everything here casts a shadow during the duel. And at nighttime, I'll have to add a light, so it's a little bit easier to see at night. But I changed some of this UI here just to make it look a little cleaner, a little smoother and everything. Some of the dual UI over here, this is all changed, looks a little bit cleaner now. And what I have to do next is tidying up this like scroll UI and working on the duel so that I can make a trailer for the game. Hopefully in the coming months I'll be able to make at least like a simple alpha trailer. That'd be nice to have. And another thing to note is, now that the day and night cycle is completely continuous, stuff like crops, if I go ahead and till this ground and plant some shroom root seeds, I'll go ahead and water them, as you can see. So now that the day and night cycle is continuous, I had to rework the way that things grew in the world operated. And as you can see, I just set the growth time to pretty fast right now just for testing purposes, but crops grow in real time now. So there's no like end of day cutscene that happens. Everything is 100% continuous. And so these crops will just grow. I have them set to grow one stage every 10 seconds right now. But you get the point for this. So everything in the world needs to constantly be happening. And like debris, stone, and trees will naturally just spawn throughout the world over time, rather than one big end of day cutscene. For if I decide to implement like seasons, I have a different tile set for that, like snow tiles, fall tiles, and stuff, depending on like the time of year. I was thinking about like maybe having like an end of season, like fade in, fade out, or like ceremony or cutscene or something like that, so that I can smoothly transition the tile set. But that's a later on me problem. And so, yep, you can go ahead and just harvest these bad boys right here. And yeah, that's the new day and night cycle. I'm not sure if I ever showed this off, but I have a a mini game I made called One Spore. It's just a simple mini game. I haven't worked on this in a while. It's so scuffed. But you go through and you shoot the falling spores as they're coming down. Your little mushroom guy, um, shooting down these spores, and if the spores hit the ground over here, uh, they grow a plant, and you can't walk past the plants. You see, so your area gets smaller and smaller if you don't shoot the spores down, and eventually, if you get hit by one, you die. And we'll take you to the shop here. There's some upgrades you can get, but I don't know. It's just a simple mini game I made. It's kind of fun to mess around in. But yes, I plan on adding more mini games to Soulveyor as time goes on. Oh, there's a explosive spore as well. So these have been some of the changes that I've been working on over the past couple of months. And what I have planned next is to change this player art. So I'll probably move this guy to like an NPC or something like that, because the way I designed his sprite sheets aren't very modular. So like the head and body and legs and stuff, that's all like one sprite, and all the animations are based off of that. So now that I have this new pixel snapping setup, this allows me to make a more modular player design. So I can now split up the head and torso and stuff, and can do things like I have a test like equipment system in the works right now. I just have a placeholder mushroom, placeholder items to mark that a helmet's supposed to go there. But so that is what I'm working on next, the ability to attach equipment, accessories, completely customize your character. I'll probably have something like that when you go to create your character in the future. And the next big thing to work on would be adding more units to the duel, more like unit diversity, and improve the deck builder UI, because right now the deck builder UI isn't very intuitive, and I don't know if I'm fully sold on like the look of the scrolls. Might change this up a bit. And yeah, the pictures, like the unit icons are definitely going to need to change, because the scale's not correct on these. So I'm going to clean this up, add more dual units, and then work towards like an alpha trailer or something like that would be good. So make sure to join the Discord down below. Wishlisted on Steam. I just updated all the logos and the Steam art and the gifts on Steam as well the other day. So be sure to check that out. And until next time, I look forward to chatting with you all. Take care. Peace out, guys.